All right, there we go. So once again, allow me to welcome you all to Pawa IT Webinar 2024, which is the main theme of the event today is actually Gemini AI, and we wanted to speak to you guys about redefining your productivity with the power of AI. I know we have a couple of our friends joining from other countries. We know most of our joiners are from Kenya, and we wanted to welcome everyone. Karibuni sana. We have some joiners from our neighboring country here in Tanzania. We have some in Zambia, Nigeria, and also South Africa. So feel welcome, and in case of anything, please feel free to talk to us. We have an interactive session in the in-call chat right on the bottom right hand of your call, of your screen. So in case of anything, feel free to shoot up your questions right there, and we will respond to them promptly. So my name is Sean Mwiti. I'm part of the cloud and engineering team here at Pawa IT, and I'm one of the people tasked to ensuring that your Google Workspace runs smoothly, and some of the small queries here and there. So we are part of that team. So I will take you through the program of today. Just to reiterate, if you have any questions, please make sure to type them down there at the in-house chat. All right, this is our lineup today. So we'll be having a short introduction session about Gemini AI, and most of us know the Gemini, the AI actually revolutions has been quite powerful in the recent 2 years. But ideally, fun fact is that AI was born back in around 1950s to around 1956. So that was when the AI talk actually started coming up. But ideally, in the recent past, around 3-4 years ago, there has been a lot quite of a flooding the AI market, and with Google being one of the biggest actually industry leaders in the AI market, and you being a customer of Google Workspace, the big question for you is how can you make AI work for you? Because the question that has been there is actually that AI is going to take your job away. So how can you make AI work for you instead of you working for AI? And that is going to be our main topic of discussions today. So we have some good things lined up for you. After the short introduction by Beryl, who is one of the presenters, we will have another deep dive into Gemini AI from our Google representative here in Kenya. And then after that, we'll have a live demonstration on how actually you can use Gemini AI in your day-to-day working in your Google Workspace. And this will take you through every other prompting, every other, things that you'd want to do during your day-to-day working. Right. So apart from that, we have some nice things lined up for you. We will be giving out actually merchandise. So in case you'd want actually to win one of our merchandises, is that actually after each and every session from our presenters, you'll have a question that you're going to be asked. And then if you answer this question correctly and promptly, being the fast and correctly, you will be able actually to win one of our merchandises. We see we have a hoodie, we have a Pawa IT mug and a t-shirt. So you see, we are taking care of you actually during this cold season whereby everywhere it's raining. We've seen some flooding cases in Dubai, here in Kenya, and kindly keep those guys in your prayers. They're going through a lot, and so you will have a chance actually to win something warm for yourself. And away from this, we are going to actually be giving something else out, because we are a lover of the social media, and we want you guys actually to be live with us as we are going through this session. So in case now you want to take a screenshot of this presentation or this webinar, please share it out in the socials, that is LinkedIn or Twitter or in the social media platform that you may have, while tagging Pawa IT and also sharing our Pawa IT hashtag, that is hashtag Pawa IT Academy. And any person who's going to actually share this tag out being the first one, we're going to give them a gift hamper. That is a prompting guide of Gemini AI. That is free, and actually I think we are one of the few people around Kenya who have this prompting guide. So this will take you through how to prompt in Gemini AI and maybe actually make your work easier. So away from that, we are going to have a Q&A session at the end of this call. So you're free actually to ask your questions. You're free to shoot your questions out there, and then we'll promptly answer them and we'll direct them to the person in charge actually. And then after that, you're going to have feedback feedback session whereby you will be free to tell us your feedback. And then also once you tell us your feedback, and once you up there in the list that's going to tell us good feedback and maybe how to improve these sessions with you guys, you'll get a gift hamper too. I won't reveal that right now, but moving on the session, I think I'm going to tell you all about it. Yeah, so our presenters today, we have Beryl Samba, who is going to present, and I want to actually in the recent rains that are going around, and then the flooding around Kenya, I want to term this as a kind of a tsunami, which is coming in the AI industry. And I want you to view a picture from a story in the Bible whereby we had Noah. So when there was a flood that was looming, God sent out his messengers and told people, hey, you guys, we're having a flood, you need to prepare, blah, 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 nini, nini. And people didn't listen. So today we have a messenger who's Beryl, who's going to tell us why we should prepare for this flood. And then after that, we are going to have our architect, who is Caroline, who is going now to show us how to actually build the ark. And then to close it all off, you're going to have Eddie Ngugi from our in-house Power IT engineering team, who's going actually to drive our boat now into safety. So please feel free. And to start this off, you're going to have an interactive session with Beryl. So Beryl, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. How are
That's
you,
nice to
Sean?
hear. Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good as well. Yeah, so I want to introduce Beryl first of all. Beryl is a Chief Operating Officer at Power IT Solutions, where she oversees operations, commercial, and people. She has cultivated a growing competency in the cloud space, becoming a cloud hero at Power IT, which is a good thing, by the way. And Beryl is a passionate leader. According to her, one of the best aspects of her job is developing talent. She also has an addiction to Wikipedia and researches everything and anything. I can attest to that, literally anything. So Beryl, I want to ask you a few questions for our interactive session. Are you ready?
Okay. Yes, yes, I'm very ready.
All right, let's go, let's go. One fun fact about you actually. So tell us one fun fact about you and what you like mostly.
Okay, so my fun fact will be what I like. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm a foodie. In case you didn't know, I'm a big, big foodie. Once upon a time, I think when I was your age, Sean, I used to have a food blog. It was called
Wow, that's interesting.
Yes, Beast Tamu Delights. It's still up.
ah,
That's
I'm
it.
going to look
I
for
don't know
it
what the
actually.
blogspot. Does blogspot still exist? I don't know, but it was a blogspot. Is it blogspot? Yes, but I had a blog. So
Oh,
I enjoy cooking, I enjoy eating. But as you grow older, you have to reduce your enjoyment of eating
oh. Well, that's
as it
understandable.
impacts the waistline.
Yeah, that's understandable. Okay, the next question. Share with us what you're watching, either a book you're reading or maybe a movie, so that we can be able to live actually in a day of your life.
Mm. So currently, I'm reading Wikipedia, but the Wikipedia I'm reading is
Again.
about what's his name? Um, Dwayne Johnson, The Rock. So I've been watching
Ooh.
this sitcom called The Rock. So after I finished season one and season two, I have been reading all about him. You know, he comes from a
Uh-huh.
wrestling family. His father,
Yeah,
his
yeah.
grandfather, and his father were wrestlers. I've been reading about WWE and WWF. So yeah, that's what I'm currently up to right now.
That's interesting. That's interesting. Thank you very much. So I'm going to leave the floor to you. You can kick us off and tell and give us a sneak peek into your goodie bags. So let's go.
Okay, so thank you, Sean. Now you all know a little bit about me and my small addictions. So, I guess for me, what I'm coming to present to you today is why Gemini for Workspace is important. But even before we talk about Gemini, AI for Google Workspace, we have to take a step back. We have to talk about what generative AI is. I think for most of us, before, let's say, a year ago, AI just was a word that we knew somewhere, and AI was not something that we interacted with. And then all of a sudden, AI is what everybody is talking about. And there are two spectrums that the world will end because of AI, or AI is going to make our lives better. And when people talk about AI, especially, let's say, I'll call us laymen, we mostly know AI from generative AI. But within AI, there's a very large spectrum of models and technology. But today we'll focus more about generative AI. So what is generative AI? I'm sure everybody has interacted with it in one way or or another. The example that comes very easily to mind is ChatGPT, where you give it prompts and you get answers. And according to McKinsey, they said generative AI has the potential to change the anatomy of work, augmenting the capabilities of individual workers by automating some of their individual activities. Current generative AI and other technologies have the potential to automate work activities that absorb 60 to 70% of employees' time today. So I'm a marketer by profession, and I remember when ChatGPT came, followed by I think Google came with Bard, then it changed to Gemini. Everybody, marketers are like, "Oh my goodness, I'm going to lose my job. There's going to be somebody who can write better ads than me, who can write better articles than me." And yes, if you look at it from the negative point of view, generative AI can do that. But if you look at it from the possibilities, generative AI does do those things for you. But as opposed to it taking your job away, look at it from the aspect of it removing the repetitive work, the work that needs a lot of, that is very thinking, that is very monotonous, the work that is literally machine. Generative AI will do that for you, leaving you with the time to do the strategic work, the important work, the work that needs time, the work that needs analysis, the work that needs creativity. So generative AI has the possibility of making the work better, freeing up your work to give you time to do the work that matters most. So how does this work with Google Workspace? Almost everybody who is here, I bet, has a Gmail account. And a Gmail account is Google's private offering of Google Workspace. And I can also bet that almost everybody who is on this call is a Google Workspace for business user. So we have over 10 million of these paying customers across the globe. And with that comes an opportunity. There's an opportunity to marry the best things of what generative AI do and bring it together at the place where you do work, which is Google Workspace. So we've talked about what generative AI is. We've talked about Google Workspace. And now let's go a bit deeper into what Gemini is. I'm sure most Africans here, especially Kenyans, we are not calling it Gemini. We're calling it Gemini. But yes, let me correct that today. It's actually Gemini. So Gemini is the AI-powered assistant from Google, built right into Gmail, Docs, Sheets, and more, with enterprise-grade security and privacy. So if I'm going to put it very, very simply, it's like having ChatGPT within your Gmail. It's like having ChatGPT within your Docs. It's like having ChatGPT within your Sheets. I hope that is blowing your mind, right? That definitely should blow your mind. So what's the advantage of having your generative AI within the workspace that you do every day? Firstly, you're able to integrate this wonderful technology within your everyday work. So you get the support right there and there where you need, instead of toggling from screen to screen, getting copy pasting from here to there and all over the place. So just imagine you have this email. For instance, I do very difficult emails. I'm even seeing some of my customers here when I reach out to them and I'm like, good sir, we need you to pay your Google Workspace subscription. You're behind in your payments. Writing such emails is hard. It's really, really hard. So with Gemini AI, I have my black canvas and I can just type in a prompt and say, help me write an email to this and this customer following up on payment. Make the tone kind but firm. And I press and voila, I get the email. So instead of having to go back and forth, I get the support from the tool right where I need it. Secondly, it boosts productivity. You're able to get through work pretty fast. For instance, I do a lot of writing, but with writing, I need to do some research, I need to revise, I need to sort of even get support to brainstorm my ideas so that I can get the best thing possible. And it's right there without me having to go from place to place, and I'm able to save time and I'm able to get work through work pretty fast. And lastly, and most importantly, it safeguards your data. Unlike open generative AI models, your data is open to make the model work better, to improve. However, when you buy Gemini within your Google Workspace, your data is yours. That is the first thing. It's not open, nobody knows it, Google is not taking it, nobody is using it to improve anything, it's yours. And as we know today, data is king. Data is your IP. Data is the next oil. So your data is yours and it's kept safe. And lastly, with Gemini AI, it's able to borrow from your own data to make your work better. So even as I'm writing that email, it's Gemini within Workspace. If I'm writing that email to that difficult customer, Gemini within Google Workspace will pull in from other customer emails that I've written to borrow the tone, to borrow the messaging, to borrow the details. If I'm working on a spreadsheet and I'm doing some difficult calculations, then Eddie will go into that during his demo session. It will be able to borrow from the data that is already existing within my organization. So I think with this, it's a no-brainer. This is a really powerful tool in your work today. And in summary, for all those people who have wanted an assistant, you're going to get one with Gemini. Gemini is your always on AI assistant. And this is something that Caroline will talk more in depth. But let me just give you a glimpse of the possibilities. If you're a research analyst, instead of spending days and time and hours going through data, trying to synthesize trends and information and all that stuff, with a click of the button and with the right prompt, Gemini can support you with that. I've already given the example in how Gemini can help you with writing. Gemini is your writing coach. From a blank screen, voila, you get to a perfect paragraph. As a project manager, it enables you to organize tasks and keep track with your team. If you're a creative, if you're somebody who makes a lot of decks, if you're somebody who needs to present to a lot of stakeholders, Gemini can help you collate that information and put your thoughts into visuals, into a presentation that can be used to really get the buy-in of your various stakeholders. And even away from just more of the operational tasks, Gemini can support you with sales. It can help you personalize your sales outreach. It can help you to manage objections and ultimately closing more deals. So the world of possibility is very wide with what Gemini AI can do for you. And this is something I urge you all, at the very least, do try out. I think Eddie will talk about how to get on board, if they're free trials, how exactly you can use it. And if you're a decision maker, yes, I know these licenses cost money, right? But I don't know, as we talk about it, we can explore, is there a way that only a certain subset of users who actually need it can use it, possibly, as opposed to rolling it out in your whole organization. Perhaps consider a pilot, piloting key members of the organization who can start this wave of using generative AI and sort of cascade it into the organization and make it a movement so that you can get the most out of it. So for all of us, for all the people who are on and are our customers, welcome. Please do talk to us after this session and find out more. And for all of those who are not Pawa IT customers, I hope at the end of this session, you will join us on the Pawa side of life, and you will also sign up to get Gemini AI for your Google Workspace. Thank you. So I have my question, and I think it will be put up on the chat. So please get your fingers ready. And my question is, Gemini refers to which new capability coming to Google Workspace? A, augmented reality filters for video calls. B, integration of generative AI tools. C, a new secure cloud storage service. or D, quantum computing for complex calculations? As Sean said, winners will be announced at the end, and I'd like to pass it back to Sean.
Thank you. So we have some answers coming in. So our winners will be announcing them at the end, as Beryl has said. Thank you so much, Beryl, for that good presentation. It was quite informative. So I'll give you a flowers right now. Sai too. So thank you so much. I want also to shout out to some of our customers. I can see over here. I can see Ken Kairu. I can see Bizuji Kanja. I can see Caroline Matt. Oh, sorry. I can see Beverly Omwenga. I can see Alexander Bioha. Please, thank you so much for attending. We love you guys. Thank you so much for supporting us. So moving forward, we are going on to the next presenter. The first message of God has come and gone. Now the clouds are gathering. We are going now inside the architectural form of the building, and we are hoping this will show us how Gemini is built and how we can actually utilize its powers in different forms. So I'm going to introduce Caroline Mata, who is a very experienced person, according to me. I wish someday when I grow up, Caroline, I want to be like you. So Caroline is a highly experienced customer engineer at Google Cloud. She's bringing over 4.5 years of expertise in cloud services. Her focus lies in GCP and Google Workspace, where she has thrived for the past 3 years actually. And prior to Google, Caroline honed her skills in AWS for quite some years, around 2 years over there. And she has demonstrated a comprehensive understanding in the cloud landscape. So ideally, you can call her an expert. So she's our engineer today. So Caroline, to start you off, so I want you to answer our fun fact questions, right? So the first question goes, tell us one fun fact about you, anything that you like
Fun
or you
fact
don't
about
like.
my yeah, fun fact about myself that I learned riding the bike at when was very old. So
What?
it's at the pandemic. So I decided at the pandemic to what about discovering something new and ride a bike.
Wow.
So I spent all my life didn't ride a bike before, but yeah, I decided to go out of my comfort zone and learn something new at the pandemic. And yeah, I like experience and
Nice,
trying
nice.
something new. So
Here in Kenya, it's a life skill. You need to ride a bike before you even grow up. So it's a life skill here. So
yeah,
welcome
exactly.
aboard.
Yeah,
So the
thank
next
you.
question. So please share something that you've been watching or a book you've been reading, so we can live in a day of your life.
Yeah, so I can share one book. I'm a new mom, so I'm reading a book for
Yay!
parenting. Yeah, thank you. So I'm reading a book that is called "Listen." So it's called "How to Talk So Kids Can Listen" and "How to Listen So Kids Can Talk." So this is a parenting book, and for my free time, I watch an anime called Spy X Family. This is a nice series or anime, as we can say, about a family that met coincidentally and form a spy family that they have missions to do together. But it's very nice. Yeah.
Amazing, amazing, amazing. So for the anime lovers out there and the series lovers, so please go try that out. Caroline, I think you can chat the name of the anime in our chat box right there, so that guys can find it after the call. So Caroline, this is your floor. So take us away into your engineering landscape.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. First, I would like to thank you for the great introduction, and I would like to thank Beryl for the great presentation that she did. And I would like to add on what she said about Google Cloud and how Google Cloud is pioneering in the AI industry. Not only Google Cloud, but also Google Workspace. So Google in general is a leading company in the AI market. We have invented the AI, the transformer. And for who doesn't know what is the transformer, we can consider it as the godfather for all the large language that is found in the market right now. So all of the large language model that you hear about is basically based on those transformers. So and also Google investing a lot of time, a lot of money just for the AI part. We have 3,000 employees for just researching about the AI and generative AI solution, just for AI. So it's a really big team that is working hard over years to keep innovating. And we published so far 7,000 paper all over the world just for the AI and machine learning and generative AI. And Google as well is the leading company for the open source models and open source services all over the world. So now everyone is talking about the generative AI solution, whether it's Gemini, ChatGPT, or any other solution. Now, yeah, it's the hot topic that everyone is talking about. And you can consider that you can have your AI assistant in your day-to-day work, whether it's simple task like write me an email or a very complex task where summarizing um, reports, documents, and getting a competitive report about your products and your competitors' company as well. So it's very powerful and it will be helpful in your day-to-day work. Also, I would like to highlight that it's the Gemini is not only for the leadership team, but also for employees, for the personal use. So you can use it in different use cases. So, for example, as you can see here in the slide, it's helping leadership team from the chief marketing officer, chief HR officer, and productivity and revenue, and so on. So let's take an example for the marketing chief marketing officer. They can use Gemini to have the assistance with creating the marketing plan, creating an innovation and creative slides to help them with the marketing. For the chief HR officer, they can, instead of spending time writing a position, writing a position role description, instead they can ask Gemini to write the position role description for them, just by adding, I would like role description for HR, for sales rep, and then it will give you more detailed information as we go. I'm going to show you how in the next slides. Also, for the chief product officer, they can get they can analyze a lot of documents, a lot of reports from their organization, and with the help of Gemini, they can also understand where are the organization from the competitive, what are the competitive products that is currently found in the market, so that they can understand how they can work on improving and exceeding the competition. So now going to what are the services and features that we have for Gemini on Google Workspace. We have services for Gmail. We have Gemini in Meet, Chat, Docs, Sheet, and Slides as well. So for Gmail, you can ask Gmail to write you an email. So for example, if for someone not native English speaker like me, it's very helpful to use Gemini to write you an email. So previously I was struggling writing a professional email. I was thinking and reading after writing the email, I was double checking if there is grammar mistake, if there is a sentence that should be said in a different way. So I was struggling to send a professional mail, but with Gemini, I don't spend that much time on sending an email. I'm just writing my thoughts to Gemini and ask Gemini to write the mail for me. And I also can choose the tone of the mail. So for example, if I'm going to send to a customer, or just I'm going to send to my manager, I can highlight that I need a professional email. if I'm going to send to my colleagues or to friends, or like asking for code for marketing plan, for example. So I can use friendly way to write an email, and that's the powerful of Gmail, Gemini in Gmail. Also, one of the great features that we have in Gmail, which is summarizing threads. Summarizing threads, it's very important. So anyone who worked before on the technical support or support in general, sometimes you take a handover case. So you are added in a mail thread which consists of 100 mail, and you have to take a decision with the customer inside the call at the same time with the customer. But you cannot take a decision or take action plan, the next action plan, without reading the history of the case. So I remember when I was working as technical support, I was struggling when I have a P1 or SEV1 case, because I want to take an accurate decision and quick decision as well, because we are in a pain. The customer is still in a pain, but I don't have the luxury of time to go through the mail thread. But using Gemini in Google Workspace, in Gmail, it makes it way more easier and faster to summarize all the history mail, all the thread, and check what was the summary of the case, and then you can take a decision right away. So you don't have to wait, or you don't let the customer wait until you take a decision. So this will help you and help your organization to improve the customer satisfaction. I don't want to spend much time on this slide. I would like to explain all the features in the next slides. So here you can consider Gemini as your sales assistant, as writing coach, as a creative partner. So from now, you can consider Gemini as your AI partner and AI coach that will be helpful from the simple, easy task to the complex one. So I want to show you this video. So we have two types of Gemini: the consumer product, which is public and for free. You don't have to pay for it. But the cons for this option, that there is no security compliance. So your data might be used to train the model. This is the consumer product, that the free version. However, if you have Google Workspace license, if you have Gemini license, then this would be an enterprise version. The enterprise version comes with security. So you can work with Gemini with confidence that we are not using your data for training our models, or using your data in advertising, for example. So this is the best of using an enterprise version of Gemini. Yeah, this is the next. Okay, so we have also Gemini in Google Docs. Actually, this is very helpful. I tested many times. I use it now every day in my day-to-day work, in my personal life. So it's very easy and helpful, which saved me a lot of time. So using this is the example that I was mentioning previously, that the HR manager just write, I would like a job description for a role called sales representative, and you don't have to mention anything, just like this, and Gemini will be able to create a professional post. So you don't spend time searching what are the requirements for this job, what is the responsibility. Of course, you can adjust it. You can check what is Gemini recommending and adjust it to fit your use case or fit your position. Also, the best of Gemini on Google Docs, that it gives you variables that you can change later. So for example, here, as you can see in the slide, it gives the customer name as or the company name as a variable, so that you can change it. It will be changed through the whole post, as you can see here, company name, and also the location, So you can see here as well. Okay, so going to the next slide. So at the beginning, we introduced Gemini for Gmail at desktop, but now we announced that that Gemini on Gmail is also available on mobile. So you can now, while you are walking, while you are doing anything else, you can write a professional mail as well. So if you are, imagine that you are at the airport and the flight was postponed for 6 hours, and you are asking for claim, for example, um, or asking for a refund that because of the delayed flight. So you can write what do you think, and let Gemini do their magic and write a professional email. Okay, and Gemini for slides. This is really interesting and funny. You can create your slides in your own way. You don't have to search for an image that suits your thoughts. All you have to do is write your thoughts on Help Me Visualize, and it will translate your thoughts from text to image. And you can also choose the style. So for example, it can show me the image in a cartoonized way, but I would like to be a real, somehow real. So I will choose photography style. So this is how you can use Gemini with Google Slides. And also one of the cool features that sometimes you are preparing the slide and don't know what to say in the slides. So Gemini also can help you to write speaker's note for you. So all you have to do is ask Gemini to write a speaker note, and it will be added in each slide. So it will help you to improve your presentation skills. Powerful, yeah? It's really powerful and helped me saving a lot of time, helped me in improving my skills. And we have more features that are coming on the next June. That was announced in the last event, which is next 24. So yeah, the future is now for the Google Gemini, and for organization that will not consider having generative AI solution earlier, they will struggle later. So it's totally recommend for every organization to consider having Gemini in their organization to improve their day-to-day work, improve their skills, improve the employees' production. And the other thing is help me organize. This is a Gemini feature in Google Sheet, which you can ask Gemini to create a table for you based on the event. For example, I can say I have a kickoff event that is talking about blah, 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 and will include 3 sessions. So it will create a table for you with a column that related to the event. For example, here, it's adding the presenter, the name of the session, the next steps, and so on, the status of the session, and so on. So you can choose the style of the table from the predefined tables or from Gemini created events. And going to Google Meet has a lot of Gemini features. One of them is cool, which is creating your background, which I'm currently using. So this is not a real picture for Google premise. It's an imaginary one. I asked Gemini to create a Google premise, which the sunshine is reflecting on the building, and I want the building to be full of glasses. So this is how I was imagining that Google premise is. And this is how Gemini created the background for me. It's really fun. And you also can create funny and crazy or creative backgrounds that you can impress your colleagues as well. And also Gemini will help you to look and sound better. So you don't have to worry about that your webcam is low quality. With Gemini, you can look better by enhancing your video, just by toggling the enhanced video, and it will automatically adjust the lights for your video call, and also for the sound. It will be removing all the background noise that you have in the background. For example, you can take calls from the cafe. You can take call within the office, even if you are if you are all talking at the same time. So imagine in customer service, um, you cannot hear yourself or the customer from your colleagues because everyone is talking at the same time. So using Gemini will help you removing all the distortion, focusing on the voice frequency, and removing all the noise around this frequency. And last but not least, the best feature for myself that I really like, which is the real-time translation in the Google Meet. So, for example, I tried this myself with my colleague. She was speaking speaking Spanish, and I don't know any word in Spanish. And I was speaking in English, and Gemini was able to auto detect that she was speaking in Spanish and automatically translated in real time. So we were able to understand each other in the call without feeling pressure to speak other languages. So this is a really, really powerful collaboration, so that you can meet your customers even if they don't prefer to speak in English, or they prefer to speak in their native language. So you don't have to worry anymore, because Gemini will help you to translate the text in real time. So yeah, this is my side, and back to Calvin.
All right, that was a lovely presentation actually. So guys, get ready for the question. So the question from Mata is one, can I enable Gemini features to limited number of employees in my organization? So please type your text in the chats. We have Jared, who's the first one. Godwin, I see you guys. So keep on typing them. So I think I'll ask only this one for this part. Thank you so much, Caroline. I think I'll try the feature on a translation and actually speech to text translation with my grandmother sometime, once you bring on the Swahili version on it, or some of my friends from outside Kenya actually. So I think I should try one with my French speaking friends and see if we'll get something out of that. Thank you so much for the presentation. I think I've enjoyed it. So moving next, we've had the engineering part. We've had how to use the bare surface on how to use Gemini AI in terms of speech text and other features. And now, Noah is in the house, and it's time now to take on a voyage above the floods. And keep those guys in your prayers, by the way. It's not in a mean that to demean their current predicaments. But yes, so I think Eddie will introduce you. Don't mind me. This is my manager, so if I'm shy a little bit, don't be scared. So Eddie is the cloud engineering manager at Pawa IT, where he leads we leads the charge in driving the company's cloud strategy. We could say Eddie is one of our experienced person, and very with a wealth of knowledge spanning over 5 years. He has been instrumental in shaping the company's trajectory, in shaping our customers. So you can attest to most of our customers. In case we are not able to handle something, where is Eddie? Where is Eddie? Where is Eddie? So we feel bad, but anyway, what can we do? He has a wealth of certificates actually, with holding certifications in Google Cloud Professional, Cloud Architect, Google Workspace Administrator, and he's also known quite internally and outside for fostering a collaborative and result-oriented environment, which ensures that all projects are executed flawlessly under his guidance. So Eddie, with these many flowers being thrown at you from me and many others, let's kick off the interactive session. Let's see if people know you. If you know something about Eddie, actually you can kind of guess it on the chat box right there. Maybe I'll give a personal gift to the person who gets anything right of whatever Eddie is going to say. So please, once I ask the question, make sure you get something about Eddie. I'll tell you the gift much later on.
Hi,
So
Sean.
Eddie, hi to your questions. So so give us one fun fact about you, so that our speakers can know you. Please guess before he even actually writes it. He says it down. Says it. So
Fun fact, yeah, I do like puns. And the other fun fact is I'm one of the people who like ugali over chapati. So that is one thing
that's why you're my friend.
yes. If you're a Kenyan, you will understand why my love for ugali is number one.
Nice. So so I want you to share something that you are currently watching, or a book that you're reading, so that people can live in a day of your life. Please guess before he says it. Please, somebody guess it before he says it. I'm giving a personal gift out. If somebody guesses it right, I'm giving something out at the end of the call. So I'm gonna wait for someone to actually give you 2
Before you say
seconds.
it.
2 seconds. 1, 2. The gift is gone. Eddie, the floor is yours.
Okay, so currently I just completed watching Shogun, which is a Japanese old folk or pre-era series talking about the rise of a shogun before the 1800s, right? Where actually the whole Japan was being ruled by a ruler who died, but before his current son became mature, they used to be ruled by regents, and then that. It's a very interesting series. I don't want to spoil the beans for everyone. Take time to actually go and watch it. It's very interesting.
Guys, please go and watch Shogun, actually. So today, Eddie is going to be Noah the Shogun. Okay, Shogun. Okay. Eddie, the floor is yours, man. So take it away.
Great. I think, Carolina, you can stop presenting so that I can present my screen and take it and guide through guys through the demo for today. Thanks. So good. My screen is very much visible and all my fonts are visible. So let me start. So as Carolina and Beryl mentioned, Google Workspace is actually one of the features, is actually used in tandem with Gemini for Google Workspace, right? It's embedded within all your Google Workspace tools and services. And one of the places where most of us actually begin, even for my own self, is within Gmail, right? Here's where I get my day started. And there are a couple of things that I can actually do within Gemini for AI within Gmail. Help me write, help me summarize, and help me create very nice emails and responses. For example, for the current within my mailbox, I actually have this very long email from someone called Kevin, right? Maybe I might not have enough time to go through it. I can see he's talking about MacBook 13-inch, and maybe it piqued my interest, right? And I will want to follow up and say, I actually want to schedule a meeting with Kevin, right? So I can just pop email and click on respond. At the bottom here, you'll see the options for help me write, right? So this option might not be available for you as a normal Google Workspace users because this functionality is available within Gemini for Google Workspace, right? So your account needs to have the actual license for you to interact with some of these functionalities, right? And then I can now click help me write, draft my prompt. So summarize this email. And then for proper visibility, I'm just going to open it up like that. Redo my prompts. And then it will create, right? So it might, depending on the prompt that I've given and depending on the context of the email body, you can see here it has generated a response that helps me summarize what Kevin is saying, right? So I can respond to this person, right? Rather than me having to take my time crafting a response to them. Gemini AI crafts that response, and then I can decide to insert it or decide to refine it. Refining it is I can decide to make it shorter, rather than it being a long threaded, a long, very long email, and be like, hey, by the way, Kevin, thank you for your comprehensive overview of the latest MacBook chips. Particularly interested. And then now, if that suits my interest, I can insert it and say, we can now set up a call, right? And since it takes the initial formatting of my email, of my email drafts, I can actually now change these to a particular font that I actually like. I myself like using sans serif. I find it being very nice and easy on the eye when you're responding to emails, right? And once I'm satisfied, I can decide now to send my email or schedule send it at any given time, right? And that email has actually gone. So I've actually saved myself 3, 4, 5 minutes that I will actually take to sometimes respond to an email. And I know some guys, sometimes you are in the heat of it, your day is very busy, and you like to respond to email very quickly rather than you having to get your email, put it in another document, create a response from whichever Gemini, even the actual Gemini prompt-based user interface. You can actually just do it within your Gmail, right? Now, the other thing that you can actually do within the other functionalities that Gemini does offer for you. Gemini is, and here is where Mata said it started off with being called bad, right? And Google once updated the AI engine behind it and moved to Gemini 1.5 Pro that powers that functionality in that module. Google rebranded that to being Gemini AI. And use the use of Gemini AI within your Google Workspace. And once you move on to this plan, you can still access it to your Gmail account, your personal Gmail account. But that means your data will actually be used to train the model, right? And you can imagine from an organization standpoint, your organization is very sensitive, okay? And due to the sensitive nature, you will not want your data to be used to train models or to be reviewed by other people that you have not given consent over them. So you can actually take advantage of the security functionalities within Gemini AI. And you can see here, the message is very clear. Pawa IT charts aren't used to train the model, right? And Gemini may be displayed to sometimes give some inaccurate information. That's where you sometimes need to review some of the prompts that you do put in within Gemini. But for fact is Gemini AI, the data that you use within Google Workspace for Gemini AI won't be used or reviewed by another third party or to train the model. That is Gemini 1.5 Pro. So this covers your organization from any stringent data leakages that may happen, or someone sometimes may just copy an email, like the way I've actually just responded to an email here for Kevin. Sometimes this might be a very sensitive email. Maybe I'm responding to my COO or my CEO that contains very sensitive and critical information, even if I'm from the finance team, and I will want that data not to be leaked out or to be reviewed by other people. It's organizational data that should not be leaked out from our organization. Now, the other functionality that you can get within, you do get, right, within Gemini AI is help me write within Google Docs. To access Google Docs, you just need to access the Google Apps Launcher here, access Google Docs, or you can use docs.google.com as a URL to create a new document, or docs.new. From here, I can create a blank document. Let's say this is a very blank canvas. I want now to start drafting my ideas. Let's say I'm a marketer. I will want to generate, use the Gemini AI functional to help me write a well-detailed proposal. I can actually do that, right, based on the different functionalities. And all it takes is for me to input my prompt. I can be a CEO or a COO and is hiring for someone within their team. You can actually come here and actually prompt, right? Create for me a job posting for a cloud engineer, right? And then I can ask create, right? So that you use prompts to get some of these functionalities. So you need to prompt the model for it to actually give you an actual output from it. From there, you can decide to review the prompt that you've been given and has been generated from you. You can decide to refine it. Maybe I want to make it to be bullets, right? So let me even review the tone. I want it to be more formal rather than casual, because this is a job posting, right? Yeah, the language has changed to be more formal. I want it to be elaborative, which makes it longer. On all my initial prompts, even the first one that was generated for me, I can actually go back here and preview all the prompts. Maybe I was just doing this very quickly without reviewing the different outputs. I can always perform that function to review my first prompt, my second prompt, my third prompt and output, and the output that Gemini AI does give for me. I can decide now I want to use bullets for this version because it suits my needs. And once I'm done, I can be okay, this is nice and good. Now insert it and just come and edit a couple of things. For example, this will be nice, but then I will say I don't want to have 5 years, let's say, because it might be for even a junior role or an associate role. We can do 3 years. Here we can say cover letter should be emailed to cloud or something, or I can actually put there my email, okay, or even HR or CVs or something. And you can see how I've generated a job description and a job posting without having to go somewhere else, copy some data, or take my time brainstorming over it. I've used the power of generative AI to generate a very short job description that I can actually now use and post within the different job posting forum. Right? So that is one example. The other example would be, even if this is a document that you're already working on or you're working with someone else within your organization, you can actually highlight some sections of that document and use the power of generative AI to actually now prompt it to formalize a certain paragraph, elaborate, shorten it, rephrase. If you're like, maybe this phrase is too long, right? For this one, I've actually just summarized those key responsibilities. And once they are good for me, I can just insert them or replace. So me, I've gone with insert so that I can actually review the initial one that was generated and the current one, right? And once I'm good and I'm satisfied, I can just come here, decide to remove this, remove the oil, and sometimes I always tell people don't actually need to save your changes because all your changes within Google Docs are automatically saved for you, and you can always come back and review them at any given point. So that's one of the two functionalities that you can use within Docs. Moving forward, because of time, right? We can always set some time with most of our customers, or even either of you that will want to review this in detail, can set up a session to take you through the other functionalities. But due to time, I need to transition over to use of Gemini AI within Google Sheets, right? So let's say I have a data set here, right? It's a finance data that contains multiple columns, multiple rows. I myself am not an Excel guru, like some people in the office here, but I sometimes know one or two formulas that do help me improve or be more productive or gain insights from my data. Within the current data set here, let's say I will want to, you can see it has segments, it has countries, it has a product, has discount, right? I might want to just know which was the most profitable product within the multiple countries, right? For me to prompt that in, I will need to navigate within the menu section and get the help me organize functionality. And now I can now input my prompt. And my prompt can be across this data. So I want to select all the data by controlling A, come to prompts, and then now I can prompt it. Create a pivot. The most the different countries. And then I can create. So the magic will happen in the backend, reviewing my data based on the number of columns and rows that I have. It does take a while for it to process my data. And you can see it has already generated that for me. Now, based on the output, I can just see the countries here, the product category, the product name, the unit sold, the unit price, and even the growth. Now, from here, I can decide, okay, this looks nice, and I will want to insert this pivot table within my data. For easier access and reading my data, I will want to insert this, but in a different Google Sheet. So you can still insert it within the current Google Sheet, but sometimes it can become tacky and very difficult for you to actually go through your data. So we'll go insert in a different Google Sheet, and there I have my data. Now, even if I was working within the finance team and my boss asks me, I want to run a report or a pivot table of all the products sold within across the different countries, you can actually use this within a myriad of less than 1 minute to just get those summaries of your data, right? And this I can actually come here and rename it and say pivot for country versus products, and have that, right? Now I can proceed now to come and gain other insights from my data, or I can just decide to move that like that. That one was inserted for me. You can come and just remove the product, the filter that it has created, and other functionalities. But let's say it was a new sheet and I wanted a project plan to be generated for me. I can still use the help me organize functionality to create a project plan. You can see, you can just, so the project plan has been created with the product name. I can decide to insert this or discard it or refine my prompt, right? If this doesn't meet my current requirements, but I will want to insert it and then tweak it to my own needs, right? So I will want the milestones to be different, the project start dates to be different, rather than it telling me it's going to take from 1st March to 30th of April. I will want to modify and change a couple of things. But you can see how it has generated for me a template that I can actually use and build moving forward, rather than me having to go use Google to use Wikipedia on how to create a project plan. You can still use those functionalities, but this one gives you a very nice template and starting area. Okay. Moving forward to Gemini AI within slides. So as Carolina was demonstrating and was showing, you can create multiple decks and slides and use imagery for background within Google Slides, right? Most of us sometimes struggle with creating imagery or finding images that will allow us to build very interactive Google Slides. And I hope the ones that Carolina made with and we're going through with Beryl, they actually help them generate them from the use of generative AI and even create very nice speaker notes. As they were saying, I think that is how they actually formed and goes to where they were with their decks. So for this one, I can, for me to start, I can just come here to this functionality, create an image with Gemini, and then I can now put in my prompt, right? So as you have seen, you need to input a prompt for the AI to give you a quality output. And there is an article I was reading the other day about how to properly set up your prompts to get the best out of your prompts, rather than you having to query multiple times or refine or use multiple prompts, or you're not getting the output that's you're required, because this should allow you to be more productive rather than you having to rethink or redesign your workload or make your work just to be about generating or using prompts, right? So for here, I will want to create a deck for cloud computing within Africa. So I can name my deck. And then I can say, cloud computing in Africa. Now, there are multiple styles that you can actually utilize within slides. So you can decide a photograph, a background, or a vector image. And sometimes you really want a watermark or a cyberpunk. But for this one, I actually want a very nice, good background. And then I will create it. Once that is prompted, it takes a couple of seconds, sometimes up to 20 seconds for which to be generated. And then I will get some options that I can actually infuse within my slides. For example, you can see the options that have been given rather than me having to go generate an image or use a marketing tool to get some of this image, I can actually just use this functionality within Gemini AI within slides. And I can see the amazement that, one of the things that I was telling Kevin, who is within our marketing team, is can actually just use this to prepare some of the most creative decks as he goes along his work, rather than having to spend time and effort going to other third-party sites and applications to look for some of this imagery. And remember, since all your data is owned by you within Google Workspace, any prompts that you actually generate using Gemini AI for Workspace, this is your data. Google doesn't have any ownership access to it. So even if your decks are nice and it was going through a wild competition of who had the best slide deck, if yours wins and there's some prize money, Google can't come back to you and say, hey, by the way, you actually used our proprietary data to come up with this some type of thing. Okay, so this is my deck, and I can actually just go along playing with it and refining it as I go. They're just moving because of time back to the using of prompts, right? This is what was being referred to as BAT, right? So during that AI era race last year, when people were using chat-based prompt, Google released its first chat-based prompt as BAT, Google BAT, right? For those of us who have interacted with ChatGPT, it was meant to be its race. And just to say something, right? There was a demo someone was carrying along a couple of weeks whereby they were able to prompt both ChatGPT and use Gemini to get some translation of vernacular within Kenya. So, and surprisingly, Gemini was able to give more quality output, right? And here you remember you can now use functionalities to actually prompt. You can even sometimes while you're even working within support tickets, I've seen guys within my team take a screenshot of the error that the customer has given them, upload it within the prompt and ask it for some answers, right? Or give it more detail and context regards to the support query or the case and how to better troubleshoot it. I myself have used it before and it's very nice. I don't know if I have any screenshots for me to demo. For right now, I don't, but it sometimes comes very nice, very much in handy. One of the functionalities that I know is that Google has been working on and is currently available, but within your personal Gmail, is an extension that links to within your Gmail account, right? Where if you have over 340 emails, you can just query and say, what was the last email I sent to someone like Jemima? If you've ever interacted with that person, the email will be prompted within this face. But that's a functionality I know Google is still working on pushing it to within Google Workspace users. Moving along, there is now Gemini AI within Google Meet, right? So you can either use Google Meet as within your calendar invite or start a new meeting as and when you go. By going to the apps launcher, create a new meeting, start an instant meeting. Right. So this is a meeting that I'm in right now. I can decide I want to apply some very nice visual effects. So we'll need to come to settings, see what settings. Under video, I can decide to open and enhance my effects. I can decide I want to get a very nice background, right? Like the one Carolina has. Or you can even upload your own backgrounds within Google Meet these days. So I can generate a background here, give it a prompt. Cozy coffee shop. So it wants to be a 3D animation. I like animations. It'll generate that for me. Here. And there. I've inserted and someone can actually, someone can say I'm in a certain coffee shop while I've joined through this meeting. There are other features that you can actually use. like filters, right? I know guys have used Snapchat, TikTok, and other tools and services that you can actually use to create avatars. For example, I can use Rusty robots to represent me, right? And this has an effect on the CPU utilization within your computer and your internet bandwidth. So sometimes it might lag before it pushes that setting over. But once I set this as a character, my avatar or on video, this is what will be appeared, but it does take some time there, right? So let's say I was having a very interactive session with kids or performing a training for educators. I want them to stick along and have a funny element to my presentation. I can actually use one of those characters to mimic me. My voice is mine, but the imagery represented there is from that character that I've actually selected. And those are the various options. I want to remove the background and say it will be blurred, but then remove the filter. So those are a couple of things that you can actually do. The other functionality is regards now to transcription that Marco was actually alluding to. Now, under captions, right? You can define how your captions will be. Captions allow you to follow through a Google Meet session as you're following through a movie. So if I was speaking in Swahili within this other call, I can actually generate some of those captions, or the captions can actually be generated for me. And you can see there's some here for even some South African people. If you're a Zulu speaker or the session was happening in Zulu, and to use Swahili, but then this allows me to just do captions in Swahili. If I want transcription to be available to Swahili, that currently is not available, but I know there's a transcription that you can be able to perform from English, allow translated captions, to something like French. And I've seen this being used by people within our CS team or customer success team, whereby they're having a conversation or a call with someone in a French-speaking nation, and they can actually, once they tweak from French to be converted to English, and they can follow through what is being said within the call through those captions, right? That's all for this functionality, and you can see here the difference. If I want to switch between English and French, I can actually just come here and review that. So that sums up Gemini AI within Google Mix. Now, there's another functionality, a very nice tool that's unprompt that Google actually released, right? It's part of the Google AI Studio that runs behind Google's Vertex AI on Google Cloud, that you can actually use it. Performs very nicely when you actually have you actually want to train your small data sets using the Gemini 1.1 Pro model, right? This allows you to perform a myriad of things. For example, Carolina mentioned about the AI white papers that Google is actually releasing. You might not be a techie person, but you'll want to know what is happening within that space, right? You can download that white paper, upload it within Gemini AI Studio, and ask for it to actually summarize the key highlights within that document, right? Because I've seen some of those documents and they are over 20, 30 pages, right? You can just come and get the Gemini 1.1 report here on my computer, upload it, and you can see it. If I can actually even pick from a file within my Google Drive, and this is a PDF, and I can say summarize the key highlights from my file. And the model will run utilizing things called tokens here, which are, if you need more, you need to get and build Gemini and buy some tokens on Google Cloud by the use of Vertex AI. But my prompts, they were actually just given it. Take some time, and you see it has generated for me the key highlights from that document. Now you can imagine you're a CEO or you're a marketer. You need to prepare very compelling blog posts or emails, and you found so many reports that you'll want to infuse them, rather than you having to spend 3-4 days reading through a document that is over 30 pages, because you still have other work. You can actually use this to summarize for you the key highlights. that you're getting. And then now you can now copy this and add it to within another page that you can actually now use the other functionality within Help Me Write within Gmail to create a very compelling email or blog posts as and when you go, right? And here you can actually, this is a very powerful tool and that can allow even you to get, and when it actually came out, I was actually testing it out with a certain video, upload a video and ask it to generate a summary of what is happening within the video. It actually does that. But due to the fact that you're pressed for time, I just had to show you about that functionality within Docs, within a PDF. Yeah, and that completes, and you can always save this if you actually want to, give it a name, and you can even share this with someone within your team or externally that you'll want them to review this, right? So based on their email address, you can actually do that. I'm going to share this with Sean. I will want to notify him, yes, and then complete to click consent, and he will be given editor access. And you can see, since I've shared it with Sean, who is outside of organization, Google always notifies me that I'm sharing a file outside of organization. Good. That completes my demo, and we can now move to the next session regards to questions, Q&As.
Yeah, thank you so much, Eddie. I think everybody should give a warm round of applause to Eddie. By the way, that was a lovely, lovely, lovely presentation. My G, uniona nyuma ya tent. Yeah, so thank you so much, Eddie. I think we are going now to Eddie's quiz so that we can finalize this. This one I'm going to ask Eddie. Could you share it? Do you have it, or I share it? Let me share it.
Share it. Going to share the screen.
So you guys, be ready for this quiz. So make sure you have your fingers ready. Have your fingers ready. This is the last actually hamper we are giving out. So make sure if you've not won something, make sure you win this before I announce the previous winners. So here we go.
Yep. So that's the question. Before Google rebranded to Gemini for Workspace, what was the initial product name and offering?
Nice. Keep your answers coming. Keep your answers coming. So that was the last question. I hope you guys have actually shared some of the questions you have, so that before we close up the session, in case you'd want to say something before we close up, also please you can raise up your hand. You'll unmute yourself. I think we'll start with Alex Kimaru. Please, you can speak.
Yeah, good afternoon, everybody. I have a question. And it is
Yes, go ahead.
related to what is available to us as customers of Pawa IT based on the package we have with Pawa IT. So without having to take up the more premium Gemini package, what package can we access right now with the Google Workspace package that we are currently having?
Okay, Eddie, you want to take that up?
Yeah. So Alex, yeah, with regards to the current Google Workspace package that you have, you can still access the Gemini prompt available at gemini.google.com/app. This functionality sometimes needs access and approval from the admin console to be turned on. Once it's turned on, you can actually use it within your Google Workspace account, right? And the admin can control who can, if your data will actually be used to train the model or not, right? So there's an admin functionality within your Google Workspace that you need to download. Let me just present my screen to show you what is currently available to all Google Workspace customers that do not need to you or are not in a position to get the Gemini for Google Workspace enterprise or business functionalities and tooling. So this is what you will actually get. And this you can actually even get with your personal Gmail. This, you can see it, I'm using it within my Pawa IT domain, test domain. I see another question from Bizu.
Yeah, there's another question from Bizo.
Sorry, before
Hi, thank you for your presentation. I heard Eddie say, or rather the example you gave was buying a MacBook, so that you'd be the right person to ask. How compatible is it for people who don't use Google Online? What's the compatibility, and how easy is it to convert? Because there are people within and outside the organization that don't use Google Docs and Sheets, and you are on Word and Excel. If you create it, is it easy to convert? How compatible is that? That's one question. The other is offline applications. Is that like included in the cost? Even if you said some of it is free, but your data is not yours. You use it to teach the model. But if you opt for privacy, let's say if I have a format that I want to use, could it pull that up every time I want to create a particular kind of document, like a standardized format?
So there are two parts to your question, right? I will take a stab at the first one. For offline access, so Gemini for AI, as you're actually currently seeing, I'm actually using it on the browser across all my Google Workspace application. The Gemini for Google Workspace license sits on top of your Google Workspace plan, right? And the features and functionalities are available on the browser. So it won't apply to files that you're going to prompt within Microsoft Doc, that is within a local installation for your computer. Okay, that one won't work. But if you need to open a file that is offline within Google Workspace, for even it to be prompted or for you to run a prompt, you must at least be online. Okay, because you can still access some of the Google Workspace, Google Docs stored within your Google Drive while you're offline. But for you to take advantage of the prompts, you need to be online. That's part one of your question. Part two, if you can kindly repeat it.
My first, okay, I forgot which one it was. Compatibility and conversion. I think, is it like with all of your products that it has to be a Google Doc, or I can create whatever I need to create and export it?
You can create whatever you need to create and then you add it to within Google Drive and work with it from there. You can, and Google Workspace does support native Google Docs versioning and native Sheets versioning. Yes, you can actually import them to, but you need to upload them to your Google Drive, within your Google Drive.
Okay. Is there any app formed based thing for this? Like you download the app on a MacBook and you work on it on there, or all of it has to be on the drive? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, you need to be on the drive because it's interactive within across your Google Workspace services.
Okay.
All right. Any other question? I think I have one that was asked earlier on by a person in the chat. So somebody asked if Gemini AI is going to how do I put this? Does it mean that Gemini AI will make Grammarly useless in their Google Workspace accounts?
Yeah, that's a very good one. That's a very, very good one. Yeah. It's a thing of even me. I've tended to not so much rely on Grammarly as I used to since I started using Gemini AI. So yeah.
So it will kind of do that.
I don't want to say Gemini AI killed.
Okay, no problem. So any other question before we close off? Beryl, you have something to say?
I don't think Alex had finished. He had a
Oh,
okay.
sorry.
Alex, by the way, sorry about that.
So I just wanted a guide to, I don't know if on your screen you can guide us on how to activate the, the admin to enable the access to Gemini.
Okay, I can actually just do that on this call, right? So you need to access your admin console, admin.google.com. Just access that, or it's still within your Gmail, right? I hope my screen is visible. Let me just pop.
Yeah, okay, I'm already on the admin console page.
Okay, so within your admin console, for you to take advantage of Gemini free, right, you need to go under additional services and turn it on, because that is not part of Google Workspace services. But if you get and you have Gemini AI for Google Workspace, that is supported under the core Google Workspace products and services. But the current Gemini AI for free, you just need to access additional Google Workspace services. You need to come to early access applications. And then you need to turn this service on for everyone. So you might have multiple organization units configured within your current Google Workspace admin console. So I hope this covers that. If you have any questions, you might need to do a session with you to guide you on that process and step-by-step guide.
I think I just want to close off. Oh, sorry, Alex.
Okay, thank you for that.
Okay.
I just think I want to close off. Probably, Eddie, you can just let people know which plans currently have Gemini for Workspace available.
So Gemini for Workspace has two SKUs or two plans. So there's Gemini for Workspace Gemini Workspace for Business and Gemini Workspace for Enterprise, right? To use the Gemini Workspace for Business, it is supported across Google Workspace Business Starter up to Enterprise, but Gemini Workspace for Enterprise that allows you now to have those fine-grained controls within your Google Workspace, and it can give you early access to the AI Studio by Google that has offered the Gemini 1.5 Pro that I was demoing. You need to be on the Enterprise plan, right, for Gemini AI for Enterprise, and that license is available for users on Google Workspace Business Standard and above. And we will share additional documentation and the pricing with regards to that. There's someone who asked me about a while back, can they will want to take advantage of some of these tools and functionalities. How can they do that? As a partner, as your Google Workspace partner, we can offer you a 30-day trial period for the different Google Workspace, Gemini for Google Workspace plans that you'll actually want to test out and use within your Google Workspace plan. Back to you, Beryl and Sean, or any other question?
All right, no problem. So thank you guys for coming through for this webinar. It's been quite a pleasure actually hosting you guys. In case you have further questions, actually you know where to reach us at. We will actually respond to you. We have a feedback form right around, it is around tagged on this on the in-call chat messages. So you feel free actually to respond to the feedback form. And actually we have something else we're giving out on that feedback form. So the first three actually people to give us feedback, we will actually give them a gift hamper. Each and everyone will win a hoodie from the feedback form only. So thank you so much, guys. I think now we are going to present. Tamika, you've raised up your hand. You want to say something?
Oh yes, I wanted to notify that Mohammed was asking if we get the training, but I've seen Eddie has just responded.
Oh, okay, no problem. So I want to for the winners for the in-chat questions, I think we'll contact you personally to hand over your gift hampers. Let me look who they are. So the first question was answered correctly by Cecilia. So Cecilia is going to be the winner of the first question. The second question was answered correctly by Jared Ateka. So Uncle Jared, I see you, my guy. So Jared is going to get the second gift hamper. The third question was answered correctly by Mohammed Bello. Mohammed, you'll get your gift hamper. And then the last question was answered correctly by Godwin Wagbai. So I think we'll contact you guys so that you can get your gift hampers. Thank you very much. Anybody who has the last comments before we close off?
I've activated the early access apps, but it's still not able to work on my end. I don't know,
Okay.
maybe if someone can guide me after the meeting.
Yeah,
No.
yeah. We can set that up, Alex, to guide you through that.
Samson?
Yeah, Samson.
Yes, hi guys.
Afternoon.
Hello. I
Hi,
just
Samson.
I may request the presentation if it can be given in maybe in a file so that we can go through it after the discussion. Because I joined late, so that's why I need maybe that presentation in a maybe in a video form.
Yeah, it will be shared. The recording will be shared.
Okay.
Leah and Beverly, you can actually access the form now and confirm that it's working, and you can submit. You can actually submit that form.
Yeah, for just to close up, for our LinkedIn winner is Eliud Mitei, so you'll get your Gemini AI prompt. So thank you so much, guys. It was a pleasure having you guys. We will share the recording later on with a follow-up email and also on our socials. Feel free to go to @Pawa IT YouTube account, @Pawa IT Twitter, or @Pawa IT LinkedIn. Thank you so much, guys. God bless you, and have a lovely evening.
Great. Thanks for joining. Enjoy your day.
Namwombea watu wa mafuriko.
Executive assistant has raised.
Hello, executive assistant. Executive assistant.
You can unmute yourself, executive assistant. We are still here monitoring the responses since you have a very late question. Okay, they have dropped off.